Hare Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. What is the sequence of the spiritual practice which will certainly culminate into the discovery of the truth? This is summarized by the teacher in the 10th verse. Na dveshta kushalam karma kushale nanushajjate tyagi sattva samavishto medhavi chinna samchaya. Na dveshti akushalam ashobhanam kamya karma. There is no hatred for whatever other people are doing, but focusing attention on oneself. Then kushalena anushajjate, not obsessed by one's own lifestyle. Yajna dana tapa is conducted only for the purification of the mind, and if it cannot be done, cannot be done. It is not imposed on others. Such a person, he is called as a tyagi and sattva samavishtaha. His attention is on this clarity of vision about what is the object of knowledge, how that object of knowledge is included in the thought of the object, and how this thought of the object called as buddhi vritti becomes the jnana vritti when including the reflection of the consciousness, and how this consciousness, the Purusha, is independent of other than this. So he who has this sattva samavishtaha and medhavi, medhaya atma jnana lakshanaya pradnaya sanyuktaha tadvan medhavi, and he who has thus a clear understanding about the self, such a person, chinna samchayaha. Now he has no doubt regarding what? No doubt regarding that there is no other way to get out of the problems of relative existence other than discovery of the absolute self. Therefore, param nishreyasa sadhanam Atma Swarupa Avasthanam na anyat. There is no other way than to know yourself. Iti evam nishchayena. By this he is chinna samchayaha. Now see what will happen as a result of this. As a result of this, he will not be disturbed by what we have and what we don't have. Unless we expand our horizon, unless we go beyond the present life, we are not even 1% spiritual. What is going beyond the present life? All the gains and losses in the present life is not the end. We lived earlier, we are living now, we will continue to live. And so far, so many lives we have lived, what we have gained? That we are going to gain something special in this life? Then the question comes, for what we are? Then there is only one conclusion, that our life is meant only to know the truth. All other things are the means. You know, such a pity it is. Bhagavan Shankara very clearly tells, Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrum karane. I was in Washington, D.C., and after my lecture, one person came from Karnataka. I didn't know who is he. He came and he started talking to me in Sanskrit. So when he started talking, I asked him, "You are from Bangalore or Mysore?" He said, how are you asking this straight question, Bangalore or Mysore? He said, then what do you think I am from? I said, I think you are from Mysore. He said, yes, I am from Mysore. And then he was talking in Sanskrit, I was talking in English. And I did not give any attention to his Sanskrit. Then he couldn't contain. He said, I have taken this vow that I will spread Sanskrit throughout the world. Therefore, I talk only in Sanskrit. I said, if you have learned this Sanskrit, so you also must have learned Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. He said, yes. Now what is said in Bhaja Govindam? Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrum karane. When the last moment of our life comes, then your knowledge of Sanskrit will not be helpful to you. Because what is Sanskrit, and for that purpose any language, it is only the means. But we mistake the means for the goal. In the same manner, this life that we have, it is a means. It is not the goal. Goal is to discover our essential self. When this is not understood, our whole life is a tragic existence of I versus you. And then, who is right, who is wrong? Never conduct this inquiry in your life, who is right, who is wrong. By this, nothing is achieved. There was one girl, Indian origin, from Australia. So, she was writing me a number of emails. I said, if you are coming to India, meet me. Or else I am coming to Australia, meet me there. So she met me once. And her argument, Swamiji, he has done this thing, I have done this thing. Now tell me, who is right? Whether I am right or he is right. So 3, 4, 5 examples, episodes she told. So I said, Amma, in front of me who is there? You or he? You are here. And the instinct of the survival tells me that I cannot dare tell you are wrong. This is a question of my survival. And then I will tell, no, mama, you are right, he is wrong. By this, what is going to happen? Your already bitterness towards him will increase. And he is not in front of me, therefore I can't talk to him. So this is not the way to solve the problem. Then how to solve the problem? Don't go into this. Who is right, who is wrong. Therefore, the only purpose of our life is, in this very life, we have to know the truth. And therefore, whatever we have, it is just a means. It doesn't matter. If you get a bicycle, ride and go ahead. Keep attention on the destination. If you get a car, you go by a car. If you get a bus, go by a bus. If you get a train, go by a train. If you get nothing, start running. The importance is not how. The importance is whether you reach the destination or not. And what is the destination of our life? Only one. To know the truth. Otherwise, in this world, how many people are born? One day one man came to me. He said, Swamiji, give me some kind of thought so that I am able to be really involved in the spiritual practice. I don't know, I don't have that longing, burning desire. Can you ignite it one way or the other? I said, okay, I'll tell you Kathopanishad. And I told him, Sasyamiva martyaha bacchate sasyamiva jayate punah. In this world, people are born like the grass and they die like the grass. How many people are born? How many die? Is this the all purpose of our life? Or is there something higher? The same routine, take out the tobacco, put the tuna and go on, rubbing and eating. Disgusting existence. Why don't you find out some higher purpose? Otherwise the same routine. Go study and then get held of one boy or a girl and then get married and then get produce children and then worry why they are not growing and they are non-stop. The same thing. Your parents have done, you are doing the same thing. See? Is there something higher in this world? See? But we will not understand this. See how important it is. Therefore, here the teacher very clearly tells, unless we know this, Nishreyasa sadhan, the ultimate in our life is possible only by one way. We have to know the truth. All other things are useless. See? In Bhagavad Mahapurana a story comes. There is one Atmadev, his name, and his wife is Dhundukari. Now, this Atmadev, he goes from post to pillar. I don't have children. So catches hold of one Mahatma. Mahatma tells him this. The purpose of human life is to know the truth. In this world, nobody has ever become by having children. It is the grace of the Lord that you follow this path. I have not come here to listen the lecture. And compels him. See, remember that day I told you, when I told this thing somewhere in one of the lectures, probably in Bangalore or somewhere, one person came into Swamiji, where from you find that I want to know all the books? Where do you read all these things? You know what was the thought? The thought was, even if God is your child, you will not be happy. Is it not? Take Dasharath, the most miserable father ever born. Isn't it? Take Vasudev, the most miserable father, mother ever lived. But we don't understand that. And therefore, the means are mistaken as the goal. And that is why, for such people, yaha adhikrutaha purushaha पूर्वोक्तेन प्रकारेण कर्म योग अनुष्ठानेन क्रमेण संस्कृतात्मासन जन्मादि विक्रिया रहितत्वेन निष्क्रियम आत्मानम आत्मत्वेन सम्बुद्धः सः सर्वकर्माणि मनसा सन्न्यस्य नैव कुर्वन्न कारयन् आसीनः नैष्कर्म लक्षणां ज्ञाननिष्ठाम् अश्नुते. Such a person who is कर्मणि अधिकृतः, who is authorized for karma. Why is ignorant? Why is ignorant? He thinks that he is the body and this life is the ultimate. There was nothing in the beginning, there is nothing hereafter, and this is the cul-de-sac, the blind end of our total life. For such people, they are told to perform the karma yoga. And what is the meaning of karma yoga? Karma yoga anushthanena sanskrita atmasan. What is the meaning of Sanskrit Atma? He who talks in Sanskrit. See? Sanskrit Atma means he who has this clear understanding that what for our life is. Isn't it? Is the life for becoming miserable or for celebration? So, such a person who has thus become Sanskrit Atma, then his attention will be focused on the self. Do you remember in one of the commentaries, probably in Bhagavad Gita only, Shankara's commentary, I told you, purity of the heart is directly proportionate to the intensity of longing you have to know the truth. How do we know that our heart is pure? If our intensity of longing to know the truth is very high, and if we are still very much lost in these worldly things, then there is intensity to suffer very high. So, etat purvoktasya karmayogasya prayojanam anena shlokena uktam. So here, in this 10th verse, the purpose of karma yoga, what was said in the earlier chapters, was summarized. Now, yaha punaha adhikritaha san dehatma bhimanittvena dehabhrut ajnaha abadhita atma kartrutva vijnanataya aham karta iti nishchita buddhihi tasya ashesha karma parityagasya ashakyatvat कर्म फल त्यागे न चोदित कर्म अनुष्ठाने एव अधिकारः न तत्यागे इति एतदर्थम दर्शेतुम आह भगवान. Now what is said? यहाँ पुनः अधिकृतः सन, he who is qualified for doing the karma. Who is the qualified for doing the karma? Adnyaha, ignorant. Ignorant means what? Ignorant means he who has no clarity about his own identity. He is ignorant. A very simple definition. The moment I know that I am the infinite reality, what will be the result? Desires will disappear. Struggle will be vanishing. And when I consider myself to be the body, then everything is looked upon how the body can be preserved. There is one person, I don't know where is he now. He is a Pahalwan. His name is also Pahalwan. Baba Pahalwan. And he is somewhere from South Maharashtra. I was in Badrinath. And my camp lectures were going on Amrita Anubhav. So, one day, after my lecture was over, he came and he started talking to me in Marathi. He said, I am surprised that you are talking on Amrita Anubhav but talking in English and how this is and all that. I said, anyway, this is how it is. He said, I am here in Badrinath for last 20 years I am coming regularly. And I am in search of one. Can you give me that? I said, yes, Ekameva Advitiya. No, not that one. I want that Vidya or that Jadi Bhuti by which I can have Kaya Kalpa. Kaya Kalpa means what? You remain eternally young. So, like the snake changes the skin and becomes young, like that, there is a Vidya, Kaya Kalpa Vidya. I want that. For that I have come here. Last 20 years I have spent. I am not getting it. Now see. So, living as a body eternally is the height of ignorance. And this is what is demonstrated in our Pauranic stories. Hiranyakashipu's elder brother was Hiranyaksha. And he was killed by Bhagwan Varaha. So his wife was crying. That time Hiranyakashipu goes and talks to his sister-in-law and tells the whole Vedanta. Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sadaha. All that is born has to die. With body, nobody has lived eternally. Body is nashwar. It is made out of 5 great elements. The total Vedanta, that. And as a result, she comes out of the moha, the delusion, the grief, and she relaxes. Now, after giving that lecture, he himself gets confused. My God, that means as a body, I will also have to die. Just now I told Their body never remains eternal. Then he started doing tapasya. And what tapasya? I should not die, I should continue as a body. So he asked Brahmaji, I want to live bodily eternally. Brahmaji said, impossible. Something else? He said, okay. And then he asked option. I should not die in, I should not die out, I should not die during day, during night, all kinds of gimmicks. So, all our spiritual practice is for one thing. And what is that? Continuing the body to be healthy throughout life. Please remember, unhealthy condition of the body is a parameter that you are still alive. Therefore, unhealthy condition is a boon. There cannot be any body which has got only health. There cannot be only day. Day has to be with the night. There cannot be only beauty. There has to be ugliness. There cannot be only health. There has to be disease. There cannot be only birth. There has to be death. There cannot be only doctors. Patient have to be there. There can't be only wise. The fools are required. See, this is how the world is. But we are unable to understand this. Such people are called as ajna, ignorant. And who are they? Dehabhimani tvena dehabhrut. So they have taken themselves to be the body once for all. They are not ready to think further. That is why, many people are afraid of listening to Vedanta, because the very foundation is shaken. Like Bhagavan Shankara, this Bhajagovindam is called as Moha Mudgar. Moha Mudgar means what? The mace is hit on the delusion that we are living. What is our delusion we are living? I am the body and this is the ultimate. If the body is the man's, I am a man. If the body is a woman's, I am a woman. Body is old, I am old. Body is young, I am young. And we have no doubt about it. And when we come to study the scriptures, then this very foundation is shaken. And therefore people are afraid. On the contrary, if you tell them, come on, let us do some acrobatics, immediately there will be a huge crowd. Because that body identification is maintained. See how important it is. Therefore, dehabhimanitvena dehabhrut ajnaha abadhita atma kartrutva vijnanataya aham karta iti nishchita buddhi. And as a result of this, abadhita atma kartrutva vijnanataya, they have no doubt whatsoever about I am the doer notion. Abadhita, continuous, unbroken. Atma kartrutva vijnanataya, I am the doer notion. Aham karta iti nishchita buddhihi, they are firmly rooted in this foolish notion. And for such people, tasya ashesha karma parityagasya ashakyatvat. For such people, it is impossible to give up all the undertakings. Those people who are accustomed to miseries, they cannot tolerate happiness. Those people who are staying next to the railway line in Bombay, the other day one person came here and I was doing something on my computer. I said, hey, please sit for 5 minutes, let me finish this job. Or else I'll forget the numbering I was doing and again it creates confusion. Okay? He said, all right. He sat for 5-10 minutes. I completed all the numbering. And then he said, oh, it is such a frightening silence. See? Why frightening silence? Then I asked him, I said, excuse me, you are from Bombay. Is your house nearer to the railway station? He He said, sorry, how do you know? I said, Antaryami. Those who are constantly subjected to they can't tolerate the silence. In the same manner here, those who are so firmly rooted in this foolish notion, I have done this thing for them, but they have misunderstood me. Nobody does anything for anybody in this world. Ajnane navrutam jnanam tena muhyamti jantava. This is known by the Lord, therefore he is happy. See, in the 5th chapter the Lord told, he must have told you. We don't know. In the 5th chapter he very clearly told, Na datte kasyachit papam na chaivam sukrutam vivuhu ajnane navrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. I am not interested in your sin or merit. You suffer. See? Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srujati prabhu na karma phala sanyogam swabhavastu pravartate. He washes his hands clear. Na kartrutvam. The doership is not created by God. Na karmani. The karma is not created by God. It is our own creation. And na karma phala sanyogam. When you do this karma, this will be the result. That is also not created by the God. This is all happening by yourself. You suffer. Therefore, ajnaha, ignorant people, for them, ashesha karma parityagasya ashakyatvat. They just cannot give up karma. Now to such workaholics, how to help them? So the technique is karma phala tyagena chodita karmanusthane eva adhikaraha. So they are told, see, these are your obligatory duties, you should do them, and one thing you should do, karma phala tyaga. Don't get too much involved. You have done this thing, but this is what is happening. It happens. Don't worry. Your time pass has finished, that's good. So, yoginaha karma kurvanti, time pass. I tell you, all the people, those who are miserable in this world, they are only because they are high excess of time. See, depression is the luxury of the filthy rich. Because they are all the time. They don't do anything in their life. That is why the physical involvement in our day-to-day lifestyle is the best way to get out of this disease of depression. So for such people, they are told, keep yourself busy, engaged, but give up the karma phala. And to tell this, the Lord has to glorify how karma phala tyag is superior than karma tyag. And therefore, in the 11th verse, the teacher says, Nahi deha bhruta shakyam tyaktum karmanya sheshataha yastu karma phala tyagi satyagityavidhiyate nahi yasma dehabhrutam deham vibharti iti dehabhrut dehatma bhimanavan dehabhrut uchyate nahi viveki sahi. So nahi yasman means because dehabhrutam means what? The one who is living as a body. And who is the wise man? Wise man lives through the body. So those who are living as the body, for such people, they are no viveki, they have no discrimination. And it is such a simple thing, even the most dull-witted person can recognize that this waking world becomes meaningful only when we are identified with the gross body. Where is the waking world when we are not identified with the gross body? Therefore, all the problems of this world are neither in the world, nor in the gross body, nor in the Atma. They are in this wrong identification. So what will be the spiritual practice? Only one. Disidentify from the gross body. The moment we enter the deep sleep, what is that which makes us so fresh in the morning? Because during the deep sleep, we were not carrying the load of the gross body, the gross world. In the deep sleep, we are not carrying the load of the mind and the subtle world. And therefore, we are totally unloaded. See? And yet, this is our own experience. You don't have to believe. You know, in all other paths, you do this japa. How long? You have to do this japa so many million times. Then what will happen? By then either you will die or I will die. Then there will be no further question. No. Here you don't have to imagine, no, it is said therefore. No, don't believe. Observe your own life's experience. Therefore, deha bhrut nahi sa viveki. He hasn't this correct understanding about himself. What is that? Veda vinashanam ityadina kartrutva adhikarat nivartitaha ataha tena deha bhruta. He has not understood Veda vinashanam nityam ya enam ajam avyayam. He has not recognized this immutable absolute reality, and therefore tena deha bhruta, by such a body identified adnena, ignorant one, न शक्यम त्यक्तुम संन्यसितुम कर्माणि अशेषतः निश्शेषेण. For such an ignorant person, it is not possible that they can give up karma. Now the genesis of karma you all know by now. Avidya kama karma. Ignorance about one's identity and mistaking oneself to be the limited being. Avidya. Ignorance. As a result of these, the desire, so that I can become complete. And higher the desire pressure, more vibrant is the dynamic life. Such people are constantly agitated and constantly busy in doing something or the other. Therefore, more the karma, more the desire, deeper the ignorance. For such people, shakyam tyaktum karmani asheshataha na bhavati. They are not able to give up the karma totally. Kasmad yaha tu adnyaha adhikritaha nityani karmani kurvan. Then the question comes, how this karma adhikari, the one who is qualified for the karma, how he should do the karma phala, karma daily, nityani karmani. कर्म फल त्यागी, कर्म फल अभिसंधि मात्र सन्यासी स त्यागी इति अभिधीयते, कर्मी अपि सन इति स्तुति अभिप्रायेण. So although he is the doer of the karma, he will be called as the tyagi, a renunciate. Why? Because he has given up the attachment to the karma phala. See? These are the three stages where we can correct ourselves. First step, before doing the karma. If you correct, your kartrutva abhiman gone. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manneta tattvavit. Second thing, at the time of doing the karma, Mai sarvani karmani sannyastadhyatma chetasa nirashi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. So correction factor before doing the karma is 5th chapter. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manneta tattvavit. Correction factor at the time of doing the karma, 3rd chapter. Mai sarvani karmani sanyastadhyatma chetasa nirashi nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. Lead your life dynamically, full of life. See? Never lead half-hearted life even one moment. Such basic things we lack. Once we start taking interest in life, you see, life is so full of joy. This is at the time of doing the karma. Now after doing the karma, this is the technique. Yaha tu karma phalatyagi Satyagitya vidhiyate. If we cannot give up karma, never mind. If we are not able to check ourselves at the time of doing karma, never mind. Now, after having done the karma, give it up, the karma phala. Don't hang around that. I have done so much, but I never get any returns. Then what do? Nothing. Depressed. Depression is a very holy karma. And I am so surprised, many people come and meet us. They tell as if it is a great achievement in their life. Swamiji, last I think 6 years. Then he asked his wife, how many years? What 6 years? 60 years. Oh, 60 years? Yes. I am depressed and I had to take these tablets, that tablets, and this is how I continue living. Can you do something for me? So I tell them, you are such expert in depression. I think if I stay with you for 10 minutes, I will also go into depression. See? Yahatu karma phalatyagi. Give up everything and you are happy. See, our Mahabharata, one story comes. There was a bird, a small birdie, let us call, not a very huge bird, a mediocre bird, and he got some piece of meat. So he caught it in his beak and he was going. So other strong birds, all of them were after that bird, making his life miserable. Now that bird was slowly struggling, running. But see, the strong, heavy bird will go and peck him. Finally, he gave up that piece of meat from his beak. What he has done? He has done nothing. The hold was unheld. The moment that piece dropped from his beak, all the problems disappeared. We are miserable because we are holding on to something. Give up everything. Sky is the limit for your bliss. And what is that hold? That hold is called as a desire. I want this, I want that thing, I should constantly begging in this world. So, kasmad yahatu adnyaha adhikrutaha nityani karmani kurvan karma phalatyagi satyagi ityavidhiyate karmi api san. Although he is a doer, he is a tyagi. Tasmat, therefore, paramartha darshina eva adeha bhruta dehatma bhava rahitena ashesha karma sanyasaha shakyate kartum. So what is the conclusion of this discussion? Therefore, paramartha darshina eva, those who have come to discover their correct identity, that they are the Satchidananda Parabrahma Paramatma. Paramartha darshina eva adeha bhrata dehatma bhava rahitena. This is all the Tritiya Vibhakti. See? Paramartha darshina adeha bhrata dehatma bhava rahitena. Therefore it is the passive voice. Chakyate atmanepadi. So, the one who is established in his essential self, no more identified with the gross body, for him alone, total karma sannyas, complete renunciation of the karma is possible, and not for anybody. After having said this, then, kim punaha tat prayojanam yat sarva karma parityagat sat iti uchyate. Now when all the karma are given up, what happens? Now to tell this theme, the 12th verse begins this new topic. Anishtamishtam mishram cha trividham karmana phalam bhavatyatyāginām pretya natu sannyasinām kvacita. Anishtam. Naraka tirjagadi lakshanam, ishtam devadi lakshanam, mishram ishta anishta sanyuktam manushya lakshanam cha, evam trividham triprakaram karmanaha dharma adharma lakshanasya phalam. There can be three possible outcomes of our karma. Which are those three possible outcomes? First is anishtam. Anishtam means that by which we go to the lower yonis, by which we are demoted, degraded from the human form to the animal form. That is anishtam. Ishtam devadi lakshanam. From the human form we have done a lot of punya karma and we have done a lot of yajna yaga, and then we have gone into the deva yoni, the god body. That is ishtam karma. And third, mishraji, mishrancha. Now what is this mishra karma? Mishra karma is ishta anishta sanyuktam manushya lakshanam. So when our papa and punya, our sins and merit, our dharma and adharma, they become approximately balancing, then we are born as human beings. And therefore from this point we have now option. What is the option? First option, go back to the animal life. Second option, go back to the divine, the godly life. Third option, go beyond all of them, including the human form, and come to realize your own essential self. So, the option is either continue to be in the relative existence or discover the absolute truth. Therefore, dharma adharma lakshanasya karmanaha trividham phalam. So, dharma adharma etc. when it is done, these are the three possible outcomes as a result of this karma. Now, bahya aneka karaka vyapara nishpannam sat avidyakrutam indrajala mayopamam mahamohakaram pratyagatmopasarpi iva falgutaya layam adarchanam gacchati iti phalam iti phalar nirvachanam. What is the meaning of phalam? Phalam means the result, effect. But here the technical definition. Bahya aneka karaka vyapara nishpannam. That which is resulting from many factors. Then avidyakrutam. That which is the baby of ignorance. Indrajala mayopamam, which is like the magic show of a magician. Mahamohakaram, deluding extremely when we look at it. Pratyag atmopasarpi iva, as if it is very close to us. Falgutaya layam, and disappears as if non-existent. Adarshanam gacchati iti phalam. That is called as the phalam. Now see, the understanding in simple language. I was extremely wanting to have a good pain. Then what will happen? I will be very happy. So I get a very good pain. And for that I struggle. And after I get that good pain, oh, very nice. The phala is what? Happiness. How long it remains? Pen is good, but paper is not good. Next moment. So any result that we get does not last long for 2 seconds. Think. See, observe your own childhood. In our childhood, for small little things, how much we used to get miserable and angry. And we got it. But after we get it, how long we remain happy? Next moment we want something else. See, these days you must have seen, in little well-to-do families you go and see, this disease has come from the Western world in our country. You go to the rooms of these young girls and boys. What is the age of the young girls? Maybe 25, 30. And what you see in their rooms? Stuffed toys. A huge, that teddy bear and all the things. No. And what is the age? I'm 30 years old. And what are you playing with? The stuffed toys. See? When are you going to grow up? So is this life disgusting? Therefore, when we are struggling, wanting this, then I don't want to, then they'll put it down. Then that is very good. These days you see those people who are, buying those various electronic games. They will be mad and make the mother, father buy that thing, and the parents have to suffer their own mistakes. What can they do? So they will go and buy that useless toy. By the time the child comes home, he has played so much that after he comes, he just throws it away, that's it. And you are 100, 200 rupees gone. Then again something new somewhere. See? Therefore, phala, result of anything, does not last for fraction of second or less even. Now see, these students who pass their examinations, 10th result, I don't know, result comes, yeah, pass. 1 second happiness, now to get admission. Ekdam, it starts. Then you get the admission, I got the admission, now I have to study, which study class I have to join, which coaching class. There is no end to that. And yet we don't realize. Therefore, anishtam ishtam mishram cha karmana trivida phalam. This is for whom? Bhavati atyaginam. Those who have not given up the karma phala, for them alone this is. Atyaginam. Pretya. After dying also, the karma will follow them. The karma phala will follow them. And natu sannyasinam kvachit. So tad etad evam lakshanam phalam bhavati atyaginam ajnanam karminam aparamartha sannyasinam. Pretya sharira patat urdhvam. So when they leave the present body, they get into another body. So either they will be born as human beings, or they will be born as the animals, or they will be born as the gods, and there again the same old story continues. I told you probably once, I have a friend of mine who is a great yogi, and he can know the past of anybody as well as the future in no time. He has that siddhi. So he tells about his past 7 lives, like we talk about last 1 week, so casually. And he asked me, Swamiji, I want to tell yours. I can do that. I have not tried because without your permission I cannot do that. I said, don't do that. He said, why? I said, I know what I was. What? I am the same Satchidananda. I have never changed. Not that way. I said, that is the only truth. All other things are useless. I am not interested in that. He said, but why? Then I asked him, what did you get by knowing that? Suppose in the last life you are a donkey. So what? In this life, if you don't know the truth, you continue to be a donkey. See? Therefore, Pretya, having given up the body, they continue to go from one body to another, one life to another. This is the basic difference between Sankhya Yoga on one side and Vedanta Shastra on other side. The birth, the punya, the sin, the merit, going to this life, going to that life, the dharma, adharma, these are only in between steps. But we get so enchanted by that. And we feel as if that is ultimate. And all the time having the same thing. Oh, I don't know why I have done this thing. I don't think I think Purva Janma Papa, therefore this is happening. No, this is this Janma, recent fresh Papa. The highest Papa is you are miserable. The highest merit is that you discover happiness in spite of everything. And both are your own options. Nobody can make you happy. Nobody can make you miserable unless you cooperate. See? Therefore, tad etat evam lakshanam phalam bhavati atyaginam ajnanam karminam. It's only for the ignorant people who get carried away by this kind of good or bad karma. Aparamartha sannyasinam sharira patat urdhvam pretya, after discarding the present body. Now, natu paramartha sannyasinam paramahamsa paravrajikanam kevala jnananishtanam kvachit. But this story is not for those who are established in the absolute self. Therefore, nahi kevala samyak darshana nishtha avidyadi samsara bijam na unmulayati kadachit ityartaha. Therefore, this samyak jnana nishtha purusha who are established in this absolute self, samsara bijan unmulayati na. It can never happen. Therefore, no has come twice. It can never happen that a man established in the absolute self will not destroy the seed of the world called as ignorance. That means they alone are liberated while living. Others are living because they are unable to die. Ataha paramartha darshinaha eva ashesha karma sannyasitvam sambhavati. Therefore, it is only for the wise people alone the complete renunciation of all the karma is possible. Avidya adhyaropitvad atmani kriyakaraka phalanam natu ajnasya. How they are able to renounce all the karma? Because they know that all the karma is superimposed on the pure self out of ignorance. So avidya adhyaropitatvan atmani. It is superimposed through ignorance on the self. Kriya karaka phalanam. Actually, it is born out of the kriya, action, karaka, the doer, phala, the result. And natu ajnasya adhishthanadini kriya kartruni karakani atmatvena pashyataha ashesha karma sannyasaha sambhavati. But those ignorant people who mistake that the body is themselves, the sense organs are themselves, and all their modifications are their modification, for such ignorant people, they cannot even dream of ashesha karma sannyasa. They cannot even think about the complete renunciation from karma. Tad etat uttaraihi shlokaihi darshayati. This principle is now demonstrated in the following verses. What is said? Panche mani mahabaho karanani nibodhame Sankhe krutante proktani siddhaye sarva karmanam. Pancha imani vakshamanani, these five which are being told, Mahabaho, hey Arjun, Karanani, now these all ni, these are not Sindhis. See, Panche mani, Karanani, Proktani. We are not talking about the Sindhis. Pancha imani, Vakshamanani, Karanani, Nirvartakani, Nivodame, know from me. These are the five reasons, causes, because of which all the karmas are performed. Uttaratra chetaha samadhanartham vastu vaishamya pradarshanarthancha tani karnani jnatavya taya stauti. Now, These in these 5 causes are being enumerated for proper understanding so that we can go beyond them. In this manner they are being glorified in the next verse. So panche mani karanani nibodhame. And who have told these karanas, the causes? Sankhe krutante proktani. Sankhe jnatavya padartha. Sankhya yante yasmin shastre tat sankyam vedantaha. Sankhya means what? Sankhya means whenever anything is deduced, deduction is based on the points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Therefore, that is called as conclusion through logical deduction. So, Sankhe jnatavya padartaha. Sankhayante yasmin shastre. That science where everything is deducted through enumeration, that is called as Sankhya Vedanta Shastre. Krutante iti tasya eva visheshanam. Krutam iti karma uchyate. Tasya anta krutasya parisamaptihi. Yatra saha krutantaha karmantaha iti etad. Because it is only in the Vedanta alone that there is a death of karma. Because what the Vedanta does, avidya kama karma, the moment you come to discover your essential self, there cannot be any desire. In the absence of the desire, there cannot be any karma. Therefore, Vedanta Shastra is krutanta, the death nail for the karma. This is what is said also in the 2nd chapter. Yavan artha udapane sampluto sarvataha samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. He who has known the absolute reality, for him the use of karma is that much. If you are in the midst of the Ganges, how much will be the use of the Bisleri water? In the same manner. When you know the truth, all your karma and expectation from the karma is zero. Therefore, sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. All the karmas disappear, die away in the recognition of one's own self. And therefore, Sankhe krutante, Sankhya Shastra, Vedanta Shastra is the krutanta, the Yamaraj. Krutanta, the death for all the karma. Sankhe krutante proktani Atmajnane sanjate sarvakarmanam nivrittim darshayati. Therefore, the moment the Atmajnana takes place, all the karmas are withdrawn. Ataha tasmin Atmajnanathe Sankhe krutante Vedante proktani kathitani siddhaye nishpatyartham sarvakarmanam. Therefore, for the performance of all the karma, there are 5 factors. And these 5 factors are told in the next verse. And who has told? These 5 factors are told by the Vedanta Shastra. And after having known this, then we can find out where we are caught up and how we can get out of the catch, the trap we have laid for ourselves. This is what is said in the now 14th verse. Kanitani ti uchyate. Now, which are those 5 factors which go into the creation or performance of any action? Adhishtanam tatha karta, karanam cha pruthagvidham, vividhascha pruthag cheshta, Daivam chaivatra panchamam. Adhishtanam 1, Karta 2, Karanam 3, then Pruthak Cheshta 4 and Daivam 5. These are the 5 factors which go in the performance of any undertaking. Now, which are these 5 factors? First, Adhishtanam, Ichha, Dvesha, Sukha, Dukkha, Jnanadinam, Abhivyakti, Ashrayaha, Adhishtanam, Shariram. So, Adhishtanam means the gross body. Because all the experiences of desire, hatred, joy, sorrow, all these are manifested and experienced only in the gross body. Therefore, by the word adhishthanam, shariram iti uchyate. Shariram. Tatha karta, upadhi lakshano bhokta. So here karta, bhokta is one and the same. The doer or the enjoyer. The one who is upholding the conditioning of the body and the subtle body and the causal body. So here, by the word karta, bhokta, jiva iti uktaha, he is the jiva. So adhishthanam tatha karta, then karanam cha, shrotradikam sankhyam. So shrotradikam, the ears, etc. So all of them, vividhaja pruthak cheshta, and all the physiological functions conducted in our body, vayaviyaha pranapanadyaha. So all the physiological functions of the body. 4. Daivam cha, daivam eva cha, atra eteshu chaturushu panchamam panchanam puranam adityari chakshuradi anugrahakam. And the 5th factor is daiva. Daiva is the presiding deity from the totality, is called as daiva. So there are now 5 factors. First, gross body. Second, the doer or enjoyer. The third, all the instruments such as mind, etc., or the Jnanendriya, Karmendriya's mind, etc. And then chesta, all kinds of efforts required for the performance of the karma. And daiva, there has to be a grace of the divine principle. Unless the eyes are graced by the Lord Sun, eyes cannot see. Unless the hands are graced by Lord Indra, hands cannot function. Unless the heart is graced by the moon, the heart cannot function. Unless the buddhi is graced by the Brihaspati, the buddhi cannot function. Unless the legs are blessed by the Vishnu, the legs will not be able to move. In short, all our individual faculties are enlivened by the Adi-Daivic forces. That is called as Daivam Chaivatra Panchamam. Here the word Daiva doesn't mean fate. Here the Daiva doesn't mean God. Daiva means all these factors which are responsible for the individual functioning of all our faculties. So these are the 5 factors which are responsible for the performance of any undertaking. Now, which are those factors is told. Now, what are those undertakings? This is said in the 15th verse. Sharira vang manor bhiyata karma prarabhate naraha nyayam va viparitam va panchaite tasya hetavaha. Now these are the 5 factors. Now all these 5 factors are required for doing any undertaking. Now through what we are working in this world? So we are working, doing our job, living in this world, we are responding, we are reacting through these 3 faculties, which are those Sharira, the body, Vang, the speech, and Manaha, the mind. So all our activities are conducted by these 3. These are the 3 instruments. Sharira, Vang, Manaha, the body, speech, and the mind. Therefore all the spiritual practices are directed toward these 3. For the gross body, we do Pujadishu Anuragaha iti Parasharyaha. By our gross body, we do the puja of the gross Vigraha, the gross idol of the Lord. Vang, by the speech, we chant the Lord's name. And Manaha, by the mind, we contemplate on His glory. In this manner, these are the three instruments which are given to us through which karma prarabhate naraha. Every person functions in this world. What Bhagavan has to say? Sharira vang manobhihi yat karma tribhihi etaihi prarabhate nirvartayati naraha. Everybody does all the activities through his body, speech or the mind. Which are those activities? Nyayam va dharma shastriyam viparitam va ashastriyam adharmyam. All activity, doesn't matter what activity it is, whether it is good or bad, whether it is in tune with the religious scriptural injunctions or contrary to, all the activities are conducted only through these three faculties of body, speech and the mind. Yacchapi निमिषित चेष्टादि जीवन हेतु तदपि पूर्वकृत धर्माधर्मयोः एव कार्यम इति न्यायम विपरीतयोः एव ग्रहणेन गृहीतम. So even such insignificant activities, which are those nimishita cheshtadi jivana hetuhu tadapi, even the blinking of the eyes or moving of the body, the horripilation, the sneezing, the yawning, everything that goes on in our life. So, nimishita cheshtadi jivana hetuhu tadapi purvakruta dharma yoho eva karyam. Everything is the result of our earlier good or bad actions. That's why many people, they don't get sleep. And there are many people who can't keep awake. Isn't it? This is why? Because of the dharma. So, nyayam va viparitan va eva grahanena gruyate. So this is included in that. Now, pancha ete yathokta tasya sarvasya karmanaha hetavaha karanani. So these are the 5 factors, adhishthanam, etc., which are responsible for conducting all the activities through the body, speech and the mind. Now here one question is raised. Nanu adhishthanadini sarvakarmanam karanani katham uchyate sharirman manobhihi karam prarabhati iti. When it was already told that all the activities are conducted by these 5 factors, then again how do you say that sharir vang manobhihi karma prarabhate naraha? The man begins his activity by the body, speech and the mind. How this is said? When it was said that all karmas, activities are conducted by the 5 factors. No esha doshaha. This is not wrong. Why? Vidhi pratisheda lakshanam sarvam karma shariradi traya pradhanam tatha shravana darshanadi cha jivana lakshanam tridha eva rashi kritam uchyate shariradivihi arabhate iti. So what is said? Vidhi pratisheda lakshanam sarvam karma. All the do's and the don'ts which are indicated in the scriptures, shariradi traya pradhanam, they are done either by the gross body or the speech or the mind. Similarly, darshana shravanadicha jivana lakshanam. Similarly, all other activities which are meant or which are required for the survival and maintenance of life, jivana lakshanam tridha eva rashi kritam uchyate. All those activities are grouped together in the 3 categories. Rashi kritam uchyate shariradivihi arabhate iti. Under these 3 heads. So all our activities can be grouped under these 3 heads. The body activity, the speech activity or the mind activity. And phalakale api tat pradhanaihi bhujyate iti panchanam eva hetutvam na viruddhate. And at the time of experiencing the result of the karma, again we experience the result of the karma again at the 3 level. Either at the body level or at the speech level or at the mind level. And therefore, where it is said that the 5 are the factors which go into the performance of the karma, and all the karma are done through these 3 factors, speech, body and the mind, there is no contradiction. It is perfectly in tune. There is nothing to object about. After having said this, now the teacher says, this being so, tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuyaha pashyatya kruta buddhitvat nasa pashyati durmatihi. Tatra iti prakrutena sambadhyate. Tatra means with reference to what we have been discussing. Evam sati, evam yathoktaihi panjavihi hetuvihi nivrate sati karmani. Means tatra evam sati. What will be the complete meaning? This being so means what? All the karmas are conducted by the 5 factors. Maybe they are good or bad through the body, speech and mind. This being so, tatra evam sati iti durmatitvasya hetutvena sambadhyate. But the one who is unable to understand, he is a durmati, he is a dull-witted fool. Teshu atmanam ananyatvena avidyaya parikalpya taihi kriyamanasya karmana ahameva karta iti kartaram atmanam kevalam shuddham tu yaha pashyati avidvan kasman vedantacharya upadesha nyayaihi akruta buddhitvad asanskrita buddhitvad. Now this being so, what being so? All the karma are conducted by the 5 factors through the body, speech and mind. In spite of this, the one who is under the influence of the ignorance starts imagining all the activities and modifications of the body are his activities and his modification. All the modification and activities of the speech and the mind are his, and therefore he starts mistaking that I am the doer, and in this manner aham eva karta iti kartanam atmanam kevalam shuddham tu yaha pashyati avidvan. And thus he starts thinking that I alone is the doer and avidvan, because he doesn't know anything. Kasmat, why he doesn't know anything? Because Vedanta Acharya Upadesha Nyayaihi asanskrita buddhitvat. He has never gone to Satsang. He has never studied the Vedanta Shastra. He has never tried to know the functioning of the life. See, there is one lady who is writing something in USA. Every night she eats my head. And her questions are, what is the difference between the Western psychology and the Eastern psychology? So I told her, in our Eastern psychology, we talk about the health and the potentiality of the mind. In Western psychology, you talk about the diseases and how to earn out of those diseases. Basic difference. Our Patanjali Yoga Darshan does not talk about the diseases. If you go to the Western psychology, they will talk nothing but the diseases. Therefore, avidvan, Vedanta Acharya Upadesha Nyayaihi akruta buddhitvat. We want to know everything in this world, but not how the mind functions, how the impressions are gathered on the mind, how we react, how our own reactions create bondage. We don't suffer because of karma. We suffer because of reacting to the karma. All these things we never want to know. And therefore, asanskrita buddhitvad, we are not cultured. Remaining we'll see in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi